Yo, what is going on guys? It's Ant and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a Pokemon Fire Red, shiny only, hardcore Nuzlocke. Now, you might hear that and have a few questions, but worry not, that I've prepared you some brief answers. Anyway, if you're new to the channel and or enjoy watching a grown adult rage at video games— oh my god, no! Lorelei, you fucking cunt! Then you're probably in the right place. So let's see if we can hit 7k this year. If you haven't already, bloody smash it. And without further ado, let's go get into things. So I go put my name as Ant, I go make my rival's name as Green, and then we do everything we need to do before getting into Professor Oak's lab to get our starter. I had 4 emulators open here, and this took me 7 hours and 12 minutes. I was getting around about, give or take, 24 encounters per minute. And if we do the maths on that, it comes to around about 10,368 encounters before we finally find our shiny Squirtle. Now, you have to excuse my lack of reaction on this one. I stayed up till around about 3 AM to find this. So, yes, I wasn't going to react too loudly. But there it is, shiny Squirtle coming in with a rash nature, as then we go and get into our first rival fight of the run. Now this rival fight doesn't really count because we don't have our Pokeballs yet, so the challenge hasn't officially started. But we still end up winning this anyway by taking this down with about 3 tackles. Now to get things to start, we're going to go ahead into Viridian, go and collect Professor Oak's parcel, take it back to him to go get the Pokedex, and with this we go get ourselves our 5 Pokeballs, which means the challenge now officially starts. So I'm going to go do a bit of training, head up onto Route 22, and go get into our first, I guess, official rival fight of a run. Green is going to go send out his Pidgey, I send out Squirtle, and I can go take down the Pidgey with 2 tackles thanks to a critical hit. We then get Green's Bulbasaur after, and just like our previous battle, we can go for 3 tackles here, take down his Bulbasaur, and win the fight. If you wondered at all earlier why I had 2 screens set on Squirtle and only one on Charmander and one on Bulbasaur, it's because I was specifically trying to get Squirtle for this run. I've done things in the past on Fire Red with Charizard, I recently did a video with Venusaur, so yeah, I wanted Blastoise. But also there was another reason, and that's because Brock is very easy to take down with Squirtle. We literally go one-shot his Geodude first turn with Water Gun, and then straight after we also go one-shot his Onix. Defeating Brock to earn ourselves our first gym badge of a run. With our first badge, our level cap now increases up to 21, and on our way up to Mount Moon, Squirtle then hits level 16, and we go and evolve this into a Wartortle. Before we go into Mount Moon as well, I'm also going to go do another shiny hunt, because we can't come back here until we got many more gym badges. So we go inside the Pokemon Center and start shiny hunting for Magikarp. I actually lost 2 1+ hour recordings for this as well. But this shiny hunt here took us in total 6.319 hours. We were getting around about 24 encounters per minute, which brings us to a rough estimate of around about 9,099 encounters before finding the shiny Magikarp. I then go do some more training once getting out the other end of Mount Moon, get Magikarp up to level 20 and go evolve this into a Gyarados, and then we go get into our second gym fight of a run against Misty. So Misty leads off here with her Staryu, I'm leading off with our Wartortle, and as Staryu almost goes down to 1 bite, Misty then restores its HP with a Super Potion, we go for another bite, and knock this down to just above half-life before hitting it with another bite, and then switching over into Gyarados. Gyarados can go take this down with a 3rd bite, and then that's going to go put us into her final Pokemon, which is Starmie. Now for Starmie here, it's just another bite spam. We go for this 3 times, take down her final Pokemon, and defeat Misty for the second gym badge of the run. Before then getting outside the gym and going to the Nugget Bridge, where we're going to go get into our next rival fight of the run against Green. Green here leads off with Pidgeotto, I lead off with Wartortle, and we knock his Pidgeotto down into half-life with Water Pulse before he then goes and makes a hard switch over into Bulbasaur. I hit this with a Water Pulse on a switch, knock it down into just above half-life, and I was convinced I was going to get the kill as well, knocking it down into really low life, as it then puts me to sleep, so I gotta make a switch over to Gyarados. Take a Vine Whip on the switch, take down the Bulbasaur then with a bite, finishing off the Pidgeotto after with another 2 more bites. Rattata goes down to a one-shot crit from bite, and that's just going to leave us now with his Kadabra, and that's just going to leave us now with his Abra, which goes down to another one-shot from bite. So we do this, take this down, and defeat Green, doing everything we need to do afterwards on Route 25, before then heading on to the SSN and getting into another rival fight with Green once again. Green, like last time, leads off with Pidgeotto, and we lead Gyarados this time. Gyarados, for the use of 3 tackles can go take down Pidgeotto. Another 2 tackles after can hit Raticate so hard we never see it again in the run. Go for a bite after on the Kadabra, and it actually survives on really low life. We make it flincher, which is nice, which means we can go finish this off with a tackle after unharmed. And that's just then going to put us into his Ivysaur. The Green's Ivysaur here goes down to 3 bites as we defeat Green and go get our HM for cut. Now my team has got absolutely no chance against the electric type leader, Lieutenant Surge. But because we've got cut, I can actually make my way all the way into Celadon now. Going into the Rocket Game corner as we keep playing to hit jackpots and get ourselves enough coins to go hunt our next shiny. Now this one was insane. I had 4 screens going on here. I was getting somewhere in between 60 to 80 encounters per minute. As you can imagine in these circumstances, this shiny hunt never took me way too long. It was literally for just over an hour. Because I said 60 to 80 earlier, I'm going to go with 70 as a multiplier. So 61.46 times by 70 comes to around about 4,302 encounters until we find the shiny Abra. After getting our shiny Abra, I go get the tea, head over into Saffron, go pick up Psychic, train our Abra to get it to go and evolve into a Kadabra, and then we go get into the fight with Lieutenant Surge. Surge now is going to be a really easy gym leader for us. We go take down his Voltorb with a one-shot to Psychic. Same thing happens after to his Pikachu, so we go take this down. And now lastly we just have his Raichu. Taking down Surge's final Pokemon once again with another one-shot to Psychic, thankfully this time to a crit though, as we go defeat Lieutenant Surge for our 3rd gym badge of a run. And now not really much is going to happen between here and Erica, as we go make the trip back up to Celadon and go get into our 4th gym fight of a run. Just like Lieutenant Surge, I'm going to be leading Kadabra in this fight, and Kadabra is just going to sweep nice and easily, so we go for a Psychic on the Victory Bell, and this goes down to a one-shot. Tangler also doesn't survive a one-shot to Psychic, so we go and take this down too. And that just now leaves us with Erica's Vileplume. Erica's Vileplume, just like the rest of the Pokemon in this gym, is going to go down to a one-shot from Psychic as we defeat Erica and get our 4th gym badge of a run. We're going to stay in Celadon for a bit and go into the Team Rocket hideout next to go take on Giovanni for the first time in the run. He's mostly rock and ground type based, so I'm going to lead Wartortle here, and we go take down his Onix to a one-shot from Water Pulse. Straight up after he sends out Rhyhorn, this is also another one-shot to Water Pulse, so we go and take this down. And now lastly he's got Kangaskhan. And Kangaskhan's going to be a little bit harder than the rest of the Pokemon here. Like, I go for a Water Pulse, then I notice it does barely any damage to Kangaskhan. And due to this, I go make a switch now over into Gyarados to see if it can handle it better, and to also go give it an Intimidate attack drop as well. Multiple turns of tackle is going to knock it down into low life, but even now I feel like Gyarados might go down. So I go make another switch here over back into Wartortle, take a Tail Whip on the switch, and we go finish this off with one last final Water Pulse, defeating Giovanni, as we then go pick up the Silph Co, which then leads us over to Pokemon Tower to go get into another rival fight with Green. He's got 5 Pokemon in this fight as well. I lead off with Kadabra, and we go take down his Pidgeotto with a one-shot to Psychic. Straight up after we get Gyarados, that's another 2-shot to Psychic, so we go take this down. And then nextly we got Growlithe, which is another 1-shot to Psychic, so this goes down nice and easily, putting us into his 4th Pokemon then, which is his own Kadabra. That goes down to a 1-shot to Psychic as well. And now that's just going to leave us with his final Pokemon, Ivysaur. We go take this down with another 1-shot to Psychic and defeat Green, before heading to the top of the tower, saving Mr. Fuji from Team Rocket and getting ourselves the Pokeflute. The Pokeflute here is going to allow us to wake up Snorlax, and I'm going to go shiny hunt this. Now Snorlax, just like Magikarp, I ended up losing maybe 2-3 hours worth of footage on the recording for this, but with the hours that I have got added up here, plus another 2 hours worth, this shiny hunt lasted us around about roughly 5.261 hours. That equivalates to 315.71 minutes, and we were getting 36 encounters per minute, so when we add that all together, it comes to around about roughly 11,365 encounters. So of course we go catch this up immediately, and then head down into Fuchsia City, where we go pick up the gold teeth, retrieve Surf, and our level cap's now increased to 43, and because of this, we're now able to go and evolve our Wartortle over into a Blastoise. I go swap them gold teeth at HMO 4, which contains strength, and with Koga coming up, I decide now is a great time to go connect the 2 emulators and train my Kadabra to myself to go and get it to evolve into an Alakazam. And with our new Alakazam, Alakazam, we're then heading into the fight with Koga, the 5th gym leader of the run. Koga being a poison type trainer means that our new Alakazam's going to be absolutely perfect for this. And just like the last 2 gym leaders we fought with Kadabra, Alakazam's going to do the exact same. We go take down his Coughing with a one-shot to Psychic. Same thing happens then to his Muck afterwards. We then go one-shot his next Coughing as well, taking this down. And that's going to put us into his final Pokemon, Weezing. And Weezing also goes down to another one-shot from Psychic. So we go take this down and defeat Koga to earn ourselves our 5th gym badge. With our 5th gym badge, we make another trip over into Saffron, get into Silph Co, and go get into our next rival fight of the run against Green. So we go get into this, and we go take down his Pidgeot to 2 Psychics. Next up then we get Gyarados, and I'm actually switching it over into Snorlax. We take a bite on the switch, and I go for 2 body slams to take this down. The 3rd Pokemon after then is Growlithe. Growlithe's going to go down to 2 body slams after the Intimidate. His Alakazam, because of Intimidate's also going to go down to 2 body slams as well. And now he just got his Venusaur, which uses Sleep Powder on us and puts us to sleep. With this, I'm hard switching straight over into Alakazam. Venusaur goes for Sweet Scent on the switch, which isn't going to do anything really to us because on the next turn, we go for Psychic. We go do this, take down Venusaur and defeat our rival, allowing us to get into the final room of Silph Co and get into our second fight of the run against Giovanni. Giovanni is still somewhat like the first fight here. He starts off with a Nidorino, I start off with our Blastoise, and Blastoise knows Surf now as well. As we go for this and knock his Nidorino down onto really low life, we can then go finish it off with the second Surf on the next turn though. And then nextly you get Nidoqueen, which is also going to be a 2-shot to Surf. And then nextly he sends out Kangaskhan, and because of this, I actually go make a switch over into Gyarados. Gyarados gives the Kangaskhan an Intimidate attack drop, and through spamming a bunch of bites and tackles, we can go take this down. And that's then going to go put us into his Rhyhorn. And Rhyhorn being a rock ground type is going to be a one-shot to Surf. So we go and take this down and we defeat Giovanni. And with Giovanni and Silph Co finally finished, we actually gain access to Sabrina, the 6th gym leader of the run. I lead off here with my Snorlax and I go for a body slam on the first turn, which takes down the Kadabra. Afterwards then we get Mr. Mime, and Mr. Mime was a massive nuisance to try and take down. It sets a barrier and bolts up its own defense. My body slam's doing just under a 1/3 of its life. So when we go for our 3rd body slam, Mr. Mime does manage to hang on. Sabrina then is going to go use a Hyper Potion, so we have to do all of this again, getting it onto really low life as Mr. Mime survives once again. So she uses another Hyper Potion again. We've also, after taking so many side beams, got ourselves confused and got ourselves onto low life. So now I have to go use rest and heal myself. As Sabrina uses Baton Pass and goes and switches into Venomoth. I'm going to stay asleep for a couple turns due to rest, but when I wake up, we go for a body slam on the Venomoth and go take this down with a one-shot thanks to a critical hit. She then nextly sends out her Mr. Mime again, uses a full heal after switching it in, as I go for a body slam with none of its boosts now and finally take this down. This is then going to go put us into her final Pokemon, Alakazam, and Alakazam is a one-shot to body slam, so we go and take this down and defeat Sabrina for our 6th gym badge of a run. After defeating Sabrina, I go make a quick little stop over in Pewter City and pick up the old Amber, before then heading into Cinnabar Island and getting into the 7th gym fight of a run against Blaine. Blaine's a fire type trainer, leading off with his Growlithe, so I'm going to go lead off with my Blastoise, and Blastoise can go take down the Growlithe with the Surf. And this is basically how the rest of the fight's going to go with all his other Pokemon as well. He sends out Ponyta next, and Ponyta's another one-shot to Surf, so we go take this down, repeat this afterwards on his Rapidash, and finish this off with another one-shot to Surf afterwards too, which then's going to go put us into his last Pokemon. And just like all the other Pokemon in this fight, we go for a Surf on the Arcanine, go take this down with a one-shot, and we defeat Blaine for our 7th gym badge of a run. Now, I've got 7 gym badges, and I still only have 4 Pokemon, so because I picked up that old Amber, and because I'm in Cinnabar, I'm now going to start hunting for Aerodactyl. And Aerodactyl actually came in really quickly, coming in at a total of nearly 75 minutes, and it was also coming in at, again, 36 encounters per minute. So that comes to a rough total of nearly 2,700 encounters, 2,694 to be exact, before we find it. And after finding our Aerodactyl, I'm then going to head up to Viridian and go get into the final gym fight of the run. And our final gym fight of the run is also going to be our 3rd fight of the run against Giovanni. Now in this fight, he's actually going to be a ground type based Pokemon trainer, and he starts off a fight with his Rhyhorn. I lead off Blastoise, and Blastoise is going to go take down his Rhyhorn with a one-shot to Surf. After taking down his Rhyhorn, he sends out Doug Trio. This one is another one-shot to Surf, so we go take this down. Nidoqueen after is also going to be another one-shot to Surf this time, so we go finish this off too. And it's basically how the whole fight's going to go. We're just going to sweep with Blastoise. He sends out Nidoking after. This is another one-shot to Surf. And then lastly, he brings in Rhyhorn. And Rhyhorn, just like everything else in this fight, is another one-shot to Surf. So we go and take this down and defeat Giovanni for the 8th gym badge of the run. Now, I'm about to go head into Victory Road with only 5 Pokemon at this point. And although I knew we could win the run without this Pokemon, I was determined to get a 6th member of my party. So, I headed into Saffron City and went to go get my guaranteed Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee. And with how quickly Aerodactyl came, I guess I used up all of my luck because this was my longest shiny hunt ever, taking 1,095 minutes. Which equals 18.251 hours. And whilst we was getting 36 encounters per minute too, this totals out to us with around about roughly 39,423 encounters for this. Like, I didn't even react when this came. I was just relieved because I knew I could finally head into the final battles of a run now. All there was left for me to do now was just head over to the Sevi Islands so I can go get a couple moves like Belly Drum on Sleepy. I also do a bit of catching to get myself an item finder as well before going to the 2 Snorlax areas and using it to get myself 2 sets of leftovers. Whilst I'm in Celadon as well, I go use my remaining coins to get myself a Mystic Water. And then we go head into Route 22 to get into our rival battle just before Victory Road. Green here leads off with Pidgeot, I lead Sleepy, and it goes for a Feather Dance on the first turn. This isn't really too concerning to me even though it's lowered my attack. I go use Yawn, take a Wing Attack on the next turn before then going for Belly Drum, which is going to go put me into maximum attack. As we then just start spamming Body Slam, so I go for a Body Slam on the Pidgeot and go take this down with a one-shot. Even though it's not very effective, we're also going to go take down his Rhyhorn with a one-shot to Body Slam. We then get his Gyarados. It does give us an Intimidate attack drop, but at +5, Body Slam's still a one-shot, so we go take this down. Same thing happens with his Growlithe as well. It's going to give us an Intimidate attack drop once again, but we still go and take this down with a one-shot to Body Slam. We then get Alakazam as well. Again, another one-shot, so we go take this down. And then we go get into his final Pokemon, Venusaur, which at +4, 1 Body Slam's enough to go take this down with a one-shot too. And we successfully sweep his entire team, allowing us now access to Victory Road, where we go head up to the Indigo Plateau for our final battles against the Elite Four. The first fight of the Elite Four is against Lorelei, and she starts off a fight using Dugong. Now, I did not shiny hunt for 18+ hours to not use this guy, so I decided to lead our Hitmonlee and go take down the Dugong with a one-shot to Brick Break. She then next week sends in Slowbro, so I go make a hard switch over into Snorlax, and I go for a Yawn on the Slowbro. It keeps setting up amnesias, but that's not really anything to worry about, because when it goes to sleep, I go for Belly Drum, get myself into +6, and then I rest to go get some HP back as well. When we finally wake up after a couple turns, the Slowbro goes down to a Body Slam. We also take down his Cloyster as well with a one-shot too. Jinx ends up putting us to sleep and gives us a few tough turns, but we do manage to take this down as well when we finally manage to pull off a Body Slam. And now lastly we just got Lapras, and Lapras also made this very hard. It hit us with Confuse Ray. We ended up hurting ourselves 2 times in a row, which ended up getting my Snorlax onto really low life, so I had to go switch it to keep it protected. As we go switch into Dojo and take a Surf on the switch, and annoyingly Dojo actually just misses the one-shot on Lapras. We take a Body Slam. I was praying to not get paralyzed. Thankfully we didn't. And after Lapras's Citrus Berry healing, it's still in healing range, so after she heals, I go for a reversal and knock it down into half-life. And then on the next turn I can go for another Brick Break now, take down the Lapras, and we defeat Lorelei, getting us then into the second room of the Elite Four against Bruno, as he starts off a fight with Onyx. I start off with Alakazam, and I set up a Reflect on the first turn. Now, this probably wasn't the greatest of choices, but I know Alakazam's not got the greatest of defenses, and I did want to try and set up at least one Calm Mind. Because we hit with Rock Tomb, we actually had a speed drop though, which is something that I probably should have planned ahead for, but it's still fine. And then we almost lost Alakazam as well to a crit Earthquake, but thankfully due to that Reflect, we're able to set up a few recovers, and then we can go take down the Onyx with Psychic. Annoyingly, we're also at -2 speed, so Hitmonchan does manage to do a bit of damage to us before we go take this down. We actually managed to outspeed the Hitmonlee whilst at -2 and take this down with a Psychic. As we then get Onyx after, I set up a Reflect against it as it's already hit me, and whilst at 40 life, I take the risk of another Earthquake crit. We survive, recover to half life, and then on the next turn we recover to full life once again. again, take an Earthquake as we're speed tied, and then I'll go take this down with a Psychic. And that's then going to put us into his final Pokemon now, Machamp. And Machamp also is another one-shot to Psychic, so we go and take this down and defeat Bruno, getting us then into the third room of the Elite Four against Agatha. In this fight, she starts off with Gengar, and I'm leading Alakazam once again. Now, unlike the messing around I was doing against Bruno, I'm not taking any risks here. I just go for Psychic straight away, take down the Gengar, and then we do the exact same thing to Golbat after. Arbok also goes down to a one-shot from Psychic. A second Gengar also goes down to another one-shot from Psychic as well. And then lastly, we just have Haunter, which, again, as you can imagine, is another one-shot to Psychic. So we go and take this down and defeat Agatha with no issues. As we then go and enter the fourth room of the Elite Four against Lance. In this fight, Lance starts off with a Gyarados. And just like the last couple of fights, I'm actually going to lead Magic again. Set up a Reflect on the first turn, before then starting to set up some Calm Minds. Once I reach half-life, I go recover myself to nearly full health, continuing the Calm Mind spam after. This process repeats itself until we're full life, and also at +2. As we then go and finish the Gyarados off with a Psychic. Aerodactyl is also going to be a one-shot, so we go and take this down. And then nextly we get Dragonite, and this actually survives as well on really low life. So I'm thankful it went for Safeguard, because if it went for Outrage, we could have been in a bit of trouble. Its Citrus Berry also takes it past healing range as well, which means with another Psychic on the next turn, we can go and take down his Dragonite. And then lastly, we've just got two Dragonairs. So I'm going to go take the first one down with a Psychic, and then the second one that comes out straight after is also going to go down to another one-shot from Psychic, and that is Lance defeated, allowing us access to the final room of the Indigo Plateau, where we get into our final rival battle of the run. I'm going to start off the fight with Snorlax against the Pidgeot, and I thought I was going to do what I did in our last rival fight, which was just yawn the Pidgeot to sleep, belly drum, and hopefully sweep. And when I do go get myself into +6, we're hit by Sand Attack. I then use Rest to go get all my HP back, and our yawn doesn't work as well because I tried to go for a Body Slam in between to save a turn just before yawn activates, and it paralyzed the Pidgeot. So our plan wasn't working very well, and it got even worse when Pidgeot used Whirlwind, removing us from the battle, which made us lose our +6 stat increase. When I wake up though, I go for another Belly Drum, and I try this again, getting to +6 before then hitting the Pidgeot with Body Slam before it can Whirlwind us. Alakazam comes after, it outspeeds us, lowers our special defense, and puts us into low life, but we do go and finish this off with a Body Slam. Due to this though, although I had a feeling I was going to outspeed the Rhydon and might have a chance of taking it down, I thought I'd take the safer option, and I made a switch over into Shell Shock, where we can then go take this down with a double super effective Surf. Due to having Blastoise out, our rival sends out his Venusaur, so I gotta make a switch over into Alakazam as it goes for growth, and then I'll go for a Psychic afterwards, taking this down with a one-shot too, leaving us then with his last two Pokemon, Gyarados and Arcanine. Psychic on the Gyarados leaves it just above half-life, and because I did all this hunting to get both Dojo and Valkyrie, and whilst looking at my team I noticed that Valkyrie had not contributed anything towards the Elite Four, so I decided I was going to give it its time to shine. I made a hard switch from Magic over into my Aerodactyl, take a Dragon Rage on the switch, before then going for an Ancient Power on Gyarados. I was hoping to get the Ancient Power stat increase. I think it would have been awesome to get it, but because we didn't, I gotta make a switch then once Arcanine comes out over into Gyarados, and give the Arcanine an Intimidate attack drop. Annoyingly as well, the Arcanine's Flamethrower burns us, so when we do hit this with Earthquake, we don't do much damage to it at all, so I'm not staying in. I gotta make a switch then over into Blastoise, take another Flamethrower, and then finally, on the next turn, we can go for one last final Surf, take down our rival's Arcanine, and defeat Green to become the Kanto champion, meaning that we've beaten the challenge and we've beaten the run. Guys, I really hope you've all enjoyed this. This one, I grinded this out so quickly. So many hours went into this video, so I'd really appreciate it if you could show me some love on the ratings and down in the comments. Also, again, if you're new to the channel and have enjoyed the video, I've got plenty more content like this. Make sure you smash that subscribe button so you can see more content like this in the future. And with that all said, it's been Ant, and I will see you all in another video very soon. Peace out, guys.